Hey, it's Korinn, 365 Days of Open Heart Living, day 120, your baseline. Just giving you a scope of things. I am up north at our camper with my daughter. It's raining. I got a back seat full of a table and some chairs to put together, but it's raining. So I'm out here with you, and I'm going to chit chat about your baseline. So when I say your baseline, what I am referring to is your baseline of personal operation, like the level that you operate at on a standard basis. So our baseline is a line, that's our base of where we operate from. We sometimes go above our baseline of operation and we raise up our energy, whether that's raising our energy to be more like faster, speedy, or more healthful, raising our energy to be lighter, happier, or the baseline, if we dip below it, then that's lowering our energy output. And that could be slowing down, being more calm in our level of operation. Below our normal baseline, it could be being more like sulking or more sad, more just kind of low feeling like meh. So we have our baseline and we either raise above it at times in positive or negative ways, or we decrease from it in times in positive or negative ways. But our baseline is our baseline, and that's kind of just our standard of how we carry ourselves, how we operate. It's a combination of our mental frame and our emotional stability and our physical output as well, which all translates into how our spirit is being expressed through us in the world and how we live and how we operate. So your baseline operation, it is you in a nutshell in any given moment. Some moments require us to raise above our baseline, some require us to dip below it, whether it's in a positive or a negative way. Say, your baseline is to be pretty even keel, like, you don't let much affect you, kind of water rolls off the duck's back, whatnot, and something pisses you off. Like your baseline is going to increase. You're going to have more fire, more heat in how you're feeling and how you're operating. And so that baseline of operation gets heated. And that has an effect, a direct effect on how you are in the moment of operating, whether it is operating within the situation that made you heated and made you angry, or whether it's carrying yourself out into a different part of your day and having that increased fire, higher energy output in a negative way than your normal baseline. And that then creates how you are in other situations. Maybe you're short and spiky with, somebody at the checkout line that's, trying to check you out, and you just are frustrated and like, throw them a little shade or whatever. Maybe it's you driving your car home from work, like I'm in my car, so whatever, I'm a dork. But maybe it's you driving home from work and like somebody, does something and it pisses you off, and you like honk your horn really, really loud, really hard because you're reactive. Like that baseline has been heightened into a new level of operation. But we have our baseline because that's our norm. So after time, after processing, after, putting thought into the thing that pissed you off, or having the emotional surge and like coming down from it, after maybe going and taking a run or doing something to exert that high energy, and you bring yourself back into your normal baseline, then you return to your normal level of operation and how you are in your life. So it's very normal day to day, moment to moment, to shift high or low from our baseline. Same thing. If you have something that, like this week, I found out that a friend of mine, she lost her husband. And I found out the day before the visitation, so I was able to go and just be there for her. But that, like my normal baseline tanked a little bit because I was feeling just sad for her. It brought up, emotions for me when I lost my husband. I had somebody I could talk to about it and just sharing like the snippet of like, this is what's going on in my life. Like, gosh dang it, like just the pain the family's going through. Just, it took my baseline down. And so I was operating low for a period of time. And then, that kind of passes, and then you come back up to operating at your normal baseline. And it's highs and lows. Like, thinking of the friend then, might dip me back down. Be thinking of the thing that pissed you off, might light you back up. Like it's, we're always like pinging back and forth. But the baseline is how you are in general. And sometimes that can set us up to operate from a baseline that is not good for us, that is not how we want to be in the world. That's not how we want to be feeling. Maybe your baseline of feeling and operating doesn't feel good for you. Maybe you're always sad. Maybe you're always a little bit angry or irritated or easy to irritate. Maybe you just feel uninspired, just like, ugh, bored with life, bored with this, like just unemotive, like just don't care, you know? Like your baseline has an effect on how well you are living your life, how well you are meeting your own personal needs. And so it's really important from time to time to just slow down, center in, and reflect like, how have I been operating? What is your baseline? What is your current baseline? And we have these patterns as human beings that we operate in, and that is very much so a part of being able to see what our baseline of operation is. If we are at a level that is serving us, that we want to maintain, or maybe if we operate a little too low and we want to increase our baseline to feel lighter, brighter, happier. Maybe our baseline is a little too intense and we have this speedy go, go, go energy about us in everything we do. Maybe it's hurry up and get home from work, hurry up and make dinner, hurry up and run the kids here, hurry up and, get the laundry switched over, hurry up and get myself to bed, hurry, like maybe the speediness of the intensity of go, 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 maybe that's our baseline and we need to bring it down a little bit. And so we can operate in a way that is healthier for us and less taxing. And so we can feel more contentment. Not like we're always racing to catch up with everything in our life and we can never catch up and there's never enough time. And I hear that about myself. Like that's been my baseline, honestly. And I'm sick of it. I want to change it. So this is why we're talking about it. Because maybe you are stuck in a baseline too that you are sick of. Maybe you're tired of feeling tired. Maybe you're tired of feeling annoyed. Maybe you're tired of being sad. Or, maybe you're tired of feeling like everyone picks on you. Or you're tired of feeling like, you don't have a sense of confidence to like, do something different, to get out there and change something in your life so that you can build and grow that sense of yourself to have more confidence. Like, I can do this, Maybe you're tired of feeling like I can't do anything right. And you want to feel like I can do a lot of things right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that baseline of operation can expand you further into where you want to be when you're aware of how you are, what your baseline is at, and when you can get intentional and have more choice in choosing what you want your baseline to be. Self awareness is always key. And that's a big part of doing meditation too, is because you build your muscle of being self aware. And so we're going to do the inner breath today, but by doing simple things like the inner breath and just feeling and experiencing yourself and noticing, like, okay, like wow, like I'm really amped up, feeling really speedy. I see that in this, slowing down, focusing in on feeling the breath and doing the meditation. And now I'm neutralizing it too. I'm bringing it down a notch so that I'm not in that patterned baseline of being amped up, or vice versa. If you're low and you're like, and you go into meditation, you're feeling your breath and you're just like, ugh, like, you just feel sad and defeated, but you're feeling yourself and you're coming to your feeling sense and you're letting your thoughts go and continually like just feeling the breath, that neutralizes that low vibration that you're carrying, that you're operating in as your baseline. And it just shakes out the cobwebs, like clears out the cobwebs a little bit so that your energy can be lighter and brighter, so you can feel more connected. I'm noticing, like, I am too sad, too much. I don't want to live like that. I want to feel better. And in connecting with myself and noticing how I feel right now, super speedy or super sad or whatever it is for you, when we do this meditation, notice like what you feel like your baseline is right now. And also notice like any insight that might come in of what your normal operation level is in being your baseline that you operate from. And then in that self-awareness, that's insight and inspiration and direction for you to decide to shift your energy, and it's space for you to shift as well, in neutralizing yourself and bringing yourself, no matter what your patterned baseline is, and bringing yourself into a frequency of calm, of sharpened self-awareness or sharpened perceptive presence, and experiencing yourself, so that that information gathered in the experiencing can then become the motivation to direct yourself in a different way, to catch then later on, like, okay, I'm operating in my baseline, I'm feeling sad again, but this is not the baseline I want to be operating in. I'm just going to do a little meditation, do a little inner breath, a little inner smile, or I'm gonna go for a walk, or whatever it is. If it's not sunny, it's raining out, I don't know, what could I do? Like read a good book, watch a funny movie, like do something nice for somebody else, reach out and have a conversation with a friend you haven't talked to for a while, something to enjoy, so that in the moments where you're noticing you're in that baseline, that is your level of operation, and you want to intentionally shift your baseline, then you can be directional in choosing to do things to support raising your baseline. And you know what? Friends are a beautiful thing. And sometimes when you have somebody that you connect with and you stay in contact with, and you can be open and honest, like, hey, I noticed that I am sad a lot and I want to shift that, and I'm wondering if, would you be open to, like, let's connect, over the next month, like, every Friday, let's go meet out and have a drink and just catch up. Like, I just need somebody in my life to just like be here with me. And I want to be there for you too. Like, what do you think? You know? And then that can be a bright point in your week, helping to create a new baseline of like, all right, 2 more days and I get to see, my friend and Gab and whatever, catch up, see how they're doing. Yeah. The energy we put out into our relationships also becomes the energy that gets put back into us, because it feels good to show up for somebody else, and it feels good to have them show up for you. So, your baseline. Are you curious? Do you feel like you have a inclination of what your baseline is? Think about it for a moment. You know, like, are you somebody that runs like high, like a lot of energy output, whether it's in a positive or a negative way, whether it's, like taxing to you or irritating to others, or seems to like snowball into trouble being created or problems or drama or whatever? Or are you low in your baseline and you just don't have a lot that you feel connected to, and you don't have a lot of motivation, inspiration, and you're just feeling listless or like curled up and crawled inside of yourself? Like, that's difficult. I hope that that isn't how you feel. But if it is, then just be honest with yourself of what you feel like your baseline of operation is. Just think about it. Take self inventory now. Mm. Okay. One thing I want to say is that we have multiple baselines because, yeah, like, I have a baseline with my daughter, I have a baseline with my neighbors, my boyfriend, I have a baseline with my son, I have a baseline with work, I have a baseline with myself, I have a baseline with my family, multi. But that's how we operate. We're multifaceted, and we have a dynamic that we operate and a pattern that we operate in that is the baseline in those relationships. So pick like one or two and take a minute now to just self reflect on, what is my baseline with myself? What is my baseline with this person or this situation? Write some notes down too if you want to. I think I might do that because I'm getting good insight. I hope you are too. And as you write down what the baseline is right now, I want you to also write down what you want the baseline to be. What would be the ideal baseline? Yes. This is personal. I don't have to, I don't know if it matters to you or not, but I'm just going to share what my personal things I wrote down, just to give you, like, I don't know, an example, I guess. So I did my daughter because that's what came up. Right now, I feel like we're each other's antagonists. Like, she's 14, I'm her mom. Like, things are shifting in our life with having my significant other in my life. And we just are a little bit more and have an antagonist angle, seems to be our baseline. And the baseline I want to have with her is just to be more loving, to feel more love between us. And then with myself, my baseline is I push myself so much. And I have been feeling speedy. I have, you know, just I try to do everything that I can. And sometimes to the detriment of myself. My ideal baseline would be just being in flow, just being in the moment, letting life just flow instead of having to plan ahead and then implement the plan and make sure all of the like dots are touched upon along the way to completing the plan. And yeah, just to chill the hell out a little bit. So I hope that you got some quick insight and inspiration and reflecting for yourself what your baseline is. And now what we're going to do with the inner breath is just feel our breath and just take inventory of, like, how do you feel in this moment? What is your baseline now? And you might be surprised. I did this the other day just by myself, inner breath. And that was when this started to kind of brew as a meditation for me to be inspired to record and share, because I was like, oh my God, like I am so like amped up, speedy, like bring it down, you know. So just pay attention to how you are and then allow the inner breath to neutralize that. Be a student of yourself. And close your eyes. Relax. Be comfortable in wherever you're sitting. Take in a nice, deep, relaxing breath. Allow your awareness to shift from being aware of that which is outside of you to being aware of your physical self, your body. Notice how you're holding it as you sit, and just allow it to soften and relax in the place that you are sitting in now. And as you allow your body to relax, just notice yourself, how you are holding yourself, where your tensions and tightnesses were that are beginning to melt away and be neutralized by just being aware of how you're holding, of that baseline of holding that is so unconscious that you do it and you don't even notice that you are holding the tensions in your body. Notice them, and how in the noticing they begin to soften and melt away. as you are noticing your body and what this gentle space of self-awareness does, and just shifting the energy that you are in immediately and neutralizing those holding patterns that have become your baseline of operation, and how you hold your body physically, mentally, emotionally. I want you to bring your awareness to your heart center, in the center of your chest, and observe how you feel there. Observe any sensation, any physical pressure or lightness or shaking, any sensation of the heart center. Observe it now. Whatever you're feeling physically in this moment, really allow yourself to experience it, to be one with that feeling. And as you merge and become fully aware in that baseline feeling physically in your heart, it too begins to neutralize. Notice the sensations, feel them, and in feeling them, they open, relaxing and expanding your heart's energy. And now when you're ready, rest your physical awareness on feeling your breath. Coming even deeper into a space of neutralization of your pattern of energy that is your baseline, so that the energy you are operating in, if it has not been working for you, it is being reset now, just by simply having touched upon an awareness of it, and then shifting into doing the inner breath, letting everything go and just feeling the breath as it moves in and out of your body. this time and space to feel your breath in uninterrupted solitude. If your mind wanders, bring it back to feeling and continue with that which is the practice of the inner breath meditation. When you're ready, open your eyes. So there's this thing that happens with being self-aware of yourself. Clarity. Clarity is what is and in what is not. So I hope your baseline has become more clear in what it is and in what it's not, so that you can adjust as you wish. May you live your heart.